Ask me to the Ren Fair, Anthony.
Do you want to go to the Ren Fair?
I've already been. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, BBs. It's too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And Saige.
Yeah. What is it?
Yesterday, I had a friend in town.
Oh, nice.
And we went out. It's a friend I hadn't seen in a while. And we went out and we went to a place nearby that serves the margaritas in the big bigs.
I know what place you're talking about.
For the big boys.
Of course, I know your places.
We went there.
Uh-huh.
And it was nice.
Yeah.
I should not have a margarita.
No.
Especially a big one.
No.
I shouldn't have it.
Correct.
Because of my frail human form.
Incredibly frail.
Which suffers from many physical maladies.
Yeah, you were diagnosed with frail.
I was diagnosed as a little Victorian boy.
Right. Yeah.
I was diagnosed as the kid who lives in the secret garden.
You were diagnosed with a delicate constitution.
Turns out that having a gigantic margarita when you have the chronic fatigue syndrome makes for a rough morning.
You know what, guys? He waited to explain to me until we were live on the show why he was late today.
I was like 10 minutes late, but I was also
15.
I was also late because Dagger wouldn't get up. Dagger went to the bar with us. He did not drink. He's too young. Dagger went to the bar with us, and you know he gets drunk on social interaction.
Yeah.
You and him are a lot alike that way.
That's true. You're right.
When Saige and Dagger are out in the same place, they just spin in circles.
Yeah, correct.
So he was out spinning in circles all day, and this morning he is so sleepy. He's across from us on the couch where he normally lays, and the couch is just like full of stuff because
like props and stuff,
props and things. And he was just like, I don't even care. I'm just gonna.
He's curled up.
He's curled up around junk.
He's all up in the Feywilds right now.
Around uncomfortable junk, and he's just like, I don't care. Eepy,
needy, sleepy.
Yeah.
Skywalker said he's only 11. No, he is 15.
He's 15. He's 16 next month. And I hope you all remembered to buy him cards.
We should throw him a Sweet 16 on the show.
We should.
Guys, should we celebrate Dagger's Sweet 16 together?
You should give him a super soft birthday party.
Pin the tail on the donkey.
Yeah.
I'll wear a little horn and be a unicorn.
I'll send a card. Can Dagger drive soon? Better him than me.
He hasn't gotten his learner's permit yet. But if you wait long enough, you don't have to do the whole driver's ed, and I think that would be better for him.
If you wait long enough, you can drive without a license. Look it up. Checkmate. Highway Patrol.
Hey, actually,
I got pulled over, and they were like, "Where's your driver's license?" And I was like, "Excuse me. I am 30 or 40 years old, and I do not need this from you."
Hey, as someone who passed the bar in the state of Virginia.
Yeah. Don't pass the bar in the state of Virginia?
No, I mean, don't do that.
I'm doing it.
This is legal advice?
Like, I'm doing it.
This is legal advice?
This is legal and financial advice. Drive without a license.
No! No, good morning, everyone. It's good to see you. Please don't drive without a license. I want to tell you our first piece of news immediately because it's fresh. It's hot off the presses. It's breaking news. They called. Who's they? God. And the devil called. Here, yeah, film the news. Hello.
I'm a newsman.
This is ITEKPOC, and today we have an exclusive scoop for you here down in the Sleepy Valley. Usually the camera guy does that.
Yeah.
Good Omens Season 2 just got announced.
Good Omens Season 2.
God and the devil called and told us themselves.
Good Omens Season 2. He didn't even write a second book.
Guys, there was not supposed to be a season 2. We all watched it and went, wow, that was one perfect season. What I wouldn't give for there to be more, but I accept and understand that there will never be. And they said, well,
Is it actually?
Because here's the thing.
What's the thing?
People will break a lot of rules for David Tennant, myself included.
David Tennant just drives without a license all the time.
I will say David Tennant can. Yeah.
David Tennant's never had a driver's license in his life.
So season 2 of Good Omens will be coming on July 28th. Misread. On July 28th. That's soon too.
Every day it's a getting closer. I like that they put that as the tagline.
I really think though, like, think about it. Doctors don't like come back and become the doctor. David Tennant does.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica Jones, season 1, Kilgrave. I'm sorry, this is a spoiler for like a 10-year-old Netflix show.
Mm-hmm.
Kilgrave, dead. They were like, I mean, but like he could be like a ghost.
Well, he could like
so
come
we
back.
Could keep David Tennant around.
Everybody just wants to keep David Tennant around. And why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
Right? The 10th and the 15th Doctor? Come on.
There's like no reason there should be a Good Omens 2. Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett never wrote another book. They wrote like a little thing during the pandemic. I don't know if you remember, but it was the two of them calling each other on the phone during the pandemic. But to do an entire second season,
I'm so excited.
it's totally off the rails. They can do whatever they want with it.
And here's the thing. People are going to be like, whoa, the last time something went off the rails of the books, we got Game of Thrones. No, it's going to be good. It's going to be very good. There is not a single part of me that thinks this could be a bad show.
No, it's going to be a great show.
It's going to be a great season of a great show.
Man, Tennant and Sheen, back again.
Anyways, so exciting. Yes, there was obviously lots of people talking about there being a season 2, but it was Tumblr conversations. It wasn't an announcement of a season 2.
And Neil Gaiman always says he wants to do things.
Yeah.
Like, he would never say that he doesn't want it. He's like, oh, I would be open to a season 2.
Yeah.
He was open to a Sandman movie for 30 years before there was a Sandman TV show.
But July 28th.
Yeah. So close. How'd they keep this from us?
I'm so excited.
So excited.
I'm so happy.
Well, then let me give you some back-to-back good news.
Okay, let's do it.
Beetlejuice 2 has a release date, and they have announced more of the cast.
Now, Anthony.
Now, Saige.
You know, liking Beetlejuice is approximately 30% of my personality.
It is.
I will say, Beetlejuice 2 has been in hypothetical development for about 25 years. I will be honest. I'm skeptical.
Sure.
I'm not only skeptical of it happening. This is the most real it's ever seemed. But we've had people supposedly attached before. This seems like it's happening, though.
This is happening.
This seems like it's look, until there is a movie I am sitting down and have purchased tickets for, it seems like it's happening.
Look.
But in addition to that, I'm frightened.
Sure. Now look, when we say it seems like it's happening, for a studio to drop a release date in the midst of a writer's strike, that means they're pretty sure it's happening.
Anything could happen between now and then. They've been
Anything
saying
could
the sequel
happen.
is coming for 25 years.
But there are a lot of people attached to this thing that make it feel very real.
Yes, absolutely.
So obviously Michael Keaton is back. Obviously Tim Burton is back. And you know, we have feelings about that, but it's fine. Winona Ryder is back. But one of the big ones that was rumored for a long time, but has been made official, it's definitely a thing. Jenna Ortega is Lydia's daughter.
How do you feel about the casting?
I get it. I totally understand it. It makes a lot of sense. At the same time, I hope that she's playing a little against type. I would like for Lydia's daughter to not be a little Lydia. I would like for Lydia's daughter to be somebody who's a little more like straight-laced and conventional.
Really?
Yeah, because like jock have nerd kid, nerd have jock kid, spooky person have like popular person have spooky kid have popular kid. I like that.
I get that.
I like the generational divide, and that's one of the things that made, and the idea of the Maitlands and the Dietz and the differences between them, like all of that is what made the first movie good.
Here's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna become the biggest fucking Beetlejuice nerd here, and we're gonna talk about the casting in a second. But first, I want to talk about that trope with this. If you factor in the Beetlejuice musical, there is nothing that I want more than for her to have a daughter like her. If you factor in the Beetlejuice musical, which they aren't, but you can't unsee it once you've seen it. And it elaborates so much on Lydia's story. And if you factor in the song like Dead Mom and stuff like that, of her being like, I'm just like her.
Yes.
Like, I'm little you is what that song is about. And like, no one else understands.
It would be nice for her to have a daughter that.
And for her to have a spooky kid that gets her, and she gets to do that like her mom did for her.
And the other thing is, we have to remember that Lydia's daughter is definitely going to be growing up with ghosts. She's going to be growing up with the Maitlands around, which is also going to be interesting.
She's a sweet, spooky teenager, and she's like, fuck, man, I get it.
I wonder what they're going to do about the Maitlands.
Very curious.
We do know that Justin Theroux has also been added. Justin Theroux is definitely going to be our Otto equivalent. Justin Theroux has that energy, particularly when he's playing comedic stuff.
Yeah.
He's going to be our Otto stand-in, whatever that means.
I want to talk more about Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, let's talk more about Jenna Ortega.
Jenna Ortega feels like a fan casting to me because typically in fan castings, they'll be like, oh, you played a role similar to this.
Yeah.
You should play this one.
Yes.
And then in actual casting, typically we don't do that.
That's the thing is if Jenna Ortega to be in Wednesday and then also be Lydia's daughter is a strange move. It's a
strange one for me.
But it's not strange from studio perspective. It's strange from her perspective. It's strange that she would take it. I wouldn't be surprised it was offered to her by any means. Because she's not so famous yet that people are saying we need a Jenna Ortega type. They're still saying we need Jenna Ortega.
Now. We're there.
Particularly after this, we'll be there.
I think we're already there post Wednesday. I think Wednesday did it. I absolutely do think post Wednesday, we're absolutely there. Yeah, it's like a fan casting to me. I think that it's fine, but it's not like one of those where you're like, oh, I mean, this isn't like a very good choice. Like clearly Winona Ryder and Jenna Ortega could be related.
Yes.
It's not like that. It's like, oh, it's clear that she was cast because of Wednesday.
Yeah.
And not because of anything about Jenna Ortega, even though I think she's incredibly talented. I love Jenna Ortega. I adore Jenna Ortega. Even as somebody who didn't like love the Wednesday series, I thought she was a fantastic Wednesday. I thought she was a perfect Wednesday. No notes for her performance. Love her in Scream.
Yeah.
Think she's great.
She's great, but it is like even from her perspective, it's kind of like you would want to be careful when your big credits right now are Wednesday, Scream, that sort of stuff where you're just like, I don't want to be just this.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that I do other roles. And I'm sure like her manager is telling her that, but I'm also sure her agent is telling her, yo, Beetlejuice is a big paycheck.
Yeah. So I think it's a little bit uninspired casting. It could have been Tim Burton after working with her on Wednesday. Also, that's very true. Tim Burton loves to reuse. Tim Burton only wants to work with people he knows.
Yep.
And hey, for it not to be a white person, that's a big deal.
But also,
Tim Burton really loves to work with the white people he's worked with before.
But also, hey, new young spooky Tim Burton muse, be careful. Watch yourself.
Protect yourself.
Watch
yourself sounds like a threat.
Watch yourself around Tim Burton.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying.
That's all we're saying.
That's all we're saying.
Tim Burton accused of many things, But no specific allegations of him being like a creep, just of him being racist, mostly.
Yeah.
And bad at making movies.
Well, and you don't need to accuse anybody of anything in order to just state the fact that he has a habit of hiring women to lead his films and then leaving his wife to marry those women. And the previous wife was also somebody who was in his film. So you know what I mean. Hey.
Tim Burton is trying to pivot from being associated with Johnny Depp, I guess, but I hope she's okay. And like, look, do pivot from being associated with Johnny Depp.
Yes.
Do that 10 years ago.
Yeah. Do that before you got known as the dynamic duo of creepdom.
Right. Do pivot from being associated with Johnny Depp long, long ago. But
and then as far as that release date that we were talking about, it is going to be in July of 2024.
That's
okay.
Oh,
It's September 6th. It's going to be debuting currently right now opposite of Blade in Blade's new debut.
Hilarious. They are so counting on Blade getting moved again.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. They're like,
Blade's
Blade?
not gonna happen.
Never mind.
Blade's not gonna
Think they'll use any of the Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian script? No. Please no.
I don't think so. Wasn't a lot of that was Kevin Smith, wasn't it? The Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian script?
I don't remember.
He was attached at one point, and I know that he did a lot of rewrites on it.
A bunch of people, all double feature, let's go.
Which like
Blade and Beetlejuice.
Which like, you know, no shade to Kevin Smith, but I feel like dusting off a 15-year-old Kevin Smith script is probably not the way to go for this.
It's probably a bad idea, especially when it's called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian.
But Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian is a very good title. Because it's very within the vibe of what the first Beetlejuice was in terms of like taking that like strange, because it's fun. It's like based on the old Elvis Goes Hawaiian and stuff like that. I know. It's fun. It's fun. But you know.
Boomer shit. Hi, Abria. Abria said, I didn't know I was suddenly pro Blade. You didn't?
You haven't been pro Blade this whole time?
You haven't been like super pro Blade? We've been super pro Blade. Abria, let me take you to a blood rave. You'll change everything.
Listen, you always remember your first blood rave. Always.
You always remember your first blood rave because it's sticky and it's really hard to get out of your hair.
Sticky. Anything that's sticky, you remember. That's science.
Abria? Okay. All right.
Hey.
We're all pro Mahershala Ali as Blade. Exactly. I don't give a shit if you don't care about Blade.
Look.
You still want to kiss Mahershala Ali.
Am I all for the director and the writer of Blade? I don't know. I don't know who the director and writer of Blade are this week.
Could be anyone.
But very pro Mahershala Ali as Blade. Hey, other big movie news. Probably the biggest movie news.
Probably the biggest movie news we've got following these things.
This is huge.
It's
what's
still
bigger than The Good Omens season 2? What's bigger than Beetlejuice 2 being real and announced? Well, I'll tell you what. Spidey Man Whopper.
That's the worst looking burger I've ever seen in my life. I survived all of the Shrek themed food of the early 2000s.
That burger looks ill. That burger looks like it's not doing okay. There's something. It's the fact that it's the red bun and then a very white cheese.
Yeah, it's really fucking freaky.
Makes it look ill.
Oh, no. Hold on.
Here it is. You could eat it if you wanted. You could have it if you wanted.
Pretty patties. It's fully giving pretty patties.
It really is. Now, a lot of people immediately ran to the internet. They threw up their window. They threw up the sash. And they said, "You there, boy. Why is it red and not black?" Here's the answer. Burger King did do a black bun burger.
Okay.
We have seen it before. They have done it. Here's the problem with it. And this is a problem that happened with Burger King, but also with McDonald's in Japan after they did the all black quarter pounder.
There's already like various types of bread that are naturally black.
Right. But here's the problem.
Like a sesame.
With doing it on scale like this and for the prices, they just use food coloring.
Yeah.
So the black buns for the old burgers that they used were giving people green poops. And people got very worried. And people thought that they were sick. And people thought that they were going to be ill, and they kept calling their doctors. And it turned out they had just had the black burger with the black cheese. And it was not good. And so Burger King said, no. We'll just have you think you're pooping blood instead.
Right, I was like, how is red gonna be better?
We're just gonna have you poop blood. Burger King, baby, booby.
What are we doing?
Listen. I need you to stop. This is disrespect to Miles Morales. This is disrespect to Miles Morales, the Spidered Man, and I will not have it. At the same time, I'm happy it's more than just like a Spider-Man box on a normal Whopper in a way.
I don't know if I am.
But like...
This looks disgusting.
They tried to do something. Here's the thing. It's simply the amount of red and white and no other color. You know?
With the black seeds.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, we're supposed to have a bunch of things naturally within us that tell us when something is poisonous.
Yes.
And they're all going off.
Now, that's supposed to only happen when you taste it.
No, you're supposed to be able to look at something and be like mushrooms and stuff.
Oh, no. I look at anything and I eat it.
I do know that about you.
No, I'll
That's
eat
true.
anything.
What I'm saying is you're supposed to have that,
No,
not that you do have that.
Do not have. Hey, Heath. Good morning.
And I'm telling you that naturally as humans, we are supposed to have that instinct to be able to look at something, to be able to look at an animal and be like, ooh, don't touch that poisonous. To be able to look at a mushroom and be like, ooh, don't eat that poisonous. This burger is having that effect on me.
There's so much, it's just red and white. Like, the amount of like visible mayo on that burger.
I'm having a terrible time talking about visible mayo.
There's just like, it's the colors of Neapolitan ice cream. What is happening? It looks like astronaut food. Why is this a thing? Why is this a thing?
I don't like
Nathan Dweel said, why didn't they research like Puerto Rican food staples and serve like some Miles Morales like food like he would eat at home? Because that sounds spency. They would have to spend time
that would be cool and
effort.
expensive.
Yeah. Ooh,
and thoughtful.
We'd have to spend money to think and do. Put red in burger. Burger now Spidey Man.
Is it out now?
What? The burger?
Yeah.
Why? You want to get one? You do. This is the thing.
I
You want
don't.
to get one.
I want to get one for the show.
Yeah.
I don't want this for me.
No.
I'm willing to suffer for them. Look, I don't want regular Burger King.
Saying you just want it for the show, though, you do understand that what you're saying is, yeah, we should buy and eat a Miles Morales burger.
I know. Look, Burger King gives me a tummy ache on a regular day. A red cheeseburger?
I had a single margarita yesterday. I don't know if I can eat anything bad for a week and a half. I'm a delicate flower.
Rhea said, do you even know where a Burger King is? I don't think Burger King actually exists. Listen,
Burger King is a ghost kitchen.
Burger King's up there.
Burger King's up. Hey, shout out to Burger King.
Up there.
Up there.
You know who knows where a fucking Burger King is? Vince loves Burger King. Vince Casso loves Burger King.
Who, in the year of our Lord, 2023, prefers the Burger King?
So that's the thing. We all have our preferred fast food. We all have our like, I can't eat fast food except for this exception, right? And then like 3 others, okay? So like mine, there's no limit on how many times I could get McDonald's. If I'm running late, it simply is going to be McDonald's, okay? Little time, McDonald's. Bad day, it will be McDonald's.
Yeah.
Vince's is Burger King. And I give him a hard time for it every time he rolls up to the studio with a bag of fucking Burger King. I couldn't tell you where a Burger King is.
Who prefers the Burger King?
No McDonald's?
That's ridiculous. Although I will say, Burger King fries are a completely different experience than McDonald's fries.
Yeah, a worse one.
And sometimes I do crave the Burger King fries.
Really?
Because they're more genuine potato.
No.
Yeah. A little bit.
No, what's because yours is McDonald's too.
For fast food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's second?
I don't really eat a lot of fast food, so it's usually just McDonald's.
You have to have a second though.
If I'm near a place that has a Rallies or a Checkers because they're the same place. I do like a Rallies or a Checkers.
Fascinating. I'm talking about a go-to.
Yeah, but I don't really go to fast food. That's the thing. My go-to fast food is McDonald's. I don't need more than one.
Okay, confession, I crave BK French toast sticks. God, I haven't had those since I was a child.
Yo, the French toast sticks.
Abria, come to the studio.
What is Abria doing? What is she talking about?
French toast sticks.
Oh, that was Abria?
Yeah.
Abria, bring us some French toast sticks, coward.
Come to the studio. Let's go get French toast sticks.
Yeah, or just bring them. Save us a drive. Abria?
I'm going to say we could go get them together.
We could go get them, or you could bring them here, Abria.
Look, what, are you busy?
Hello, Abria
right now?
Iyengar?
Who could say?
Get fucked. Bring us some fucking French toast sticks, Abria Iyengar.
We have to write a story. Let's get some French toast sticks.
I don't know where a BK is. I'm not Vince.
And how could you ever find out? There's no way. Just come to the studio. I'll take you to BK.
Hello, Dungeons and Dragons, Abria Iyengar. Just bring us a fucking French toast, please.
Look, I'll take you to Burger King. I'll text Vince and find out where a Burger King is. Here. Hey, Vince. Uh-huh.
He knew. He just knew he knew it was going to be a question about Burger King.
Uh-huh.
Chat ate breakfast at Burger King?
Oh.
What's going on? No. Okay, somebody's saying Taco Bell. I can walk out of Taco Bell with a bag of food heavier than my infant son and still have change from a $10 bill.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably true. And Taco Bell's not terrible. It used to be.
I would say my second alternates between Taco Bell and Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box is not good.
No.
Jack in the Box is not good. However, when I went through my my one singular half of a year club phase,
yeah,
there was always a Jack in the Box right outside. So it became a comfort food. It became a good late night food.
Yeah. That's
once
so
2 a.m.
wild.
approaches, I crave the Jack in the Box.
It's so wild because you're a teetotaler. You've never been drunk in your life.
Correct.
But it's just 2 a.m.
Yeah.
You crave the garbage food for the drunk people.
Yes. Correct.
It's your sympathy drunk.
Yeah. Every night. I'm a sympathy alcoholic.
Anyway, somebody else buy this and eat it.
I love In-N-Out. I just don't get it enough because there's not like a convenient. In-N-Out's never convenient to acquire. You can't Postmate In-N-Out, which means I'm not going to In-N-Out.
Oh, I do like a Shake Shack.
Oh, I love Shake Shack.
Although I don't eat Shake Shack anymore.
But I put Shake Shack in another category. It's
Me
a
too.
little nicer than like drive-through fast food.
Yeah, I put on a suit.
Yeah, obviously.
I wear a tie.
Yeah.
If somebody's about to sell me a $7 milkshake, I'm gonna wear a nice ring.
I'm going to have at least a kitten heel.
Yeah,
Of course.
please. That's an after 5.
Shake Shack is in the category of Five Guys, the Habit Burger.
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't all as good, but like of like stepped up.
I don't eat Shake Shack because of all their political donations are bad, and that bummed me out.
Ah, that's a bummer.
Yeah. Hey, don't or do eat the red burger. Somebody besides us eat the red burger.
While we're talking about weird shit,
Yeah.
let's keep going.
Okay.
Let's
get real weird.
keep going.
Let's get down and dirty. Let's get really into the weird stuff. Put your kids to bed. We're getting into the weird stuff. I don't know who that was. That's how weird we're getting. It's God. It's God. Shout out.
MrBeast is buying up a bunch of houses for his employees to live in. And there's two very different responses to this.
Oh, I immediately go to the railroad owns the town.
Correct.
That's immediately where I go.
I agree.
The railroad owns the town in the general store.
So there's two different ways that people are covering this story.
Yeah.
One is MrBeast is buying houses for all his friends. Wow. And the other is Epcot. The other is the original Epcot. You work for MrBeast, you live for MrBeast.
Jimmy Beast is an odd duck.
It's very interesting.
I can't pin down.
No one can.
I can't pin down my feeling on Jimmy Beast.
No one can pin down Jimmy Beast. He's too slippery.
He's too slippery. He's oily. You heard it here first. He's covered in oil. But no, because obviously he has made his career on grand gestures and charitable gestures. That's That's his gimmick, but it's also how he makes his money, right? So it's like he's doing nice things. Okay, he's doing nice things publicly for the profit of it. And it's and you know, people are like, well, that's better than doing horrible shit publicly for profit. And we're like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He buys a lot of MFTs. He's into crypto shit. He's made a lot of like weird investments.
Yeah.
He did a strange thing where he like released chocolate bars and he asked people if they saw MrBeast bars in Walmarts and Targets to organize them nicely so they looked better.
Really
and it's
weird.
like, buddy, that's weird. It's weird to ask people to stock shelves for you. It's weird to ask teens to go to their local Walmart and stock shelves for you.
Fire Drew says if they get fired, he takes their home. So that's the thing about company housing.
Yeah. So this
very
could be
bad. Very bad.
A lot of companies do offer some sort of corporate housing, which is either subsidized or free housing, particularly if you are if you're relocating for a certain amount of time or an impermanent amount of time. But a lot of companies do offer like corporate level executive housing and things like that. And there are two ways to look at it. But the way I look at it is that, if you do anything wrong, not only do you lose your job, you lose your home.
Correct.
And that's and a lot of times that corporate housing is factored into your salary. And so your salary is lower.
Correct.
And so it's not like I'll just work there for a couple of years and save all the money. Like, no, they factor that in.
Correct. And usually you wouldn't have access to even acquire it from the company once you get done. Usually the company is getting like massive subsidies for the land they're buying, so it's actually costing them less than they're taking from your salary.
Yep.
It's the same way we attach your health insurance to your terms of employment, which also makes it difficult for people to leave poor quality jobs. And you pay for it most of the time out of your paycheck. You just get the illusion of a choice.
Yeah.
Your health is not actually a choice. So he also has been buying up medical operations. Now, I heard about the big stunt of him working to help like deaf people get hearing aids or like hearing impaired people get access to like experimental treatments for hearing, which was like a big deal and like a very big net good.
Yeah.
But what I didn't know is that he had also then bought into that technology, which makes that very scary and questionable.
No. He does that with a lot of stuff.
I didn't know that was the case for that particular thing when it came to the medical things that he has been working on, following like specifically blindness and deafness.
Yeah. Look into any of his videos and be like, okay, well, what is he showing in this video? Like, he's doing good, but what is he showing? What companies are visible?
Yeah.
What locations are visible? Why is he going to the specific places he's going to? There are a lot of reasons for that. And in the beginning, it was just, I'm going to give somebody a $5,000 gift card to Target and they can buy whatever they want.
Yeah.
But now it's very much, hey, I'm giving everybody free burgers if you come and line up. Everybody gets a free lunch today. Well, the reason you get a free lunch is because I'm launching MrBeast Burger.
Right.
It's that sort of stuff.
He's been buying up various properties in a cul-de-sac in Greenville, North Carolina to house himself, his family, and his employees.
Yep. This is where he grew up. He grew up in Greenville. He bought himself a house in Greenville, and so he's buying his family and employees' houses around him in Greenville.
I'll just say it. I don't like it. I think this is freaky. The company you work for should not be allowed to own the property you live on. Should they be able to pay you a stipend towards your living? Absolutely. That would be a survivable system in capitalism. The ability for them to actually be your landlord is horrifying. It's very, very bad. If this was in any way to be ethical and he truly wanted to be like, no, I am buying people these houses, it would mean he is transferring the deed to their name. They are the owners of these houses.
Right.
And that's not going to fucking happen.
Yeah, which...
No, his company's going to own them.
Nothing's really saying anything about that.
No.
He has bought 5 out of the 6 properties in the neighborhood. One of the people the last house who hasn't sold, one of the neighbors said, my understanding is the folks are holding out similar to any reason why anyone would have held out. It's the best school district in the area and they have kids in school. But I would imagine also, if I knew that MrBeast wanted my neighborhood, I would never move.
But also,
hey, MrBeast, $70 bazillion, MrBeast.
But also, hey, why are you buying up all the houses in a cul-de-sac? Which, like, cul-de-sacs are also made to be, like, safe for children. You're a bunch of adults. You're moving in your parents, you're moving in your coworkers. Now, some of those people might have kids. I don't know. But I don't.
Or they're starting families or they want to have,
Sure. But like you're buying up all the houses in the best school district in the area for a bunch of predominantly childless people. That's so fucked. It's the same thing. Like there's a lot of conversations about the way that like boomers hold on to their houses and how like people with children have not been able to get access to houses in good school districts because people had children. The children grew up and they moved out, and these people are just holding onto their houses, and they're in houses that are too big for them as like, you know, two people potentially at this
like,
point.
Hey, here's my thing. You bought a house. It's your house. Like, that's fine.
Sell it and let someone move in with the fucking school district.
The problem is then you're putting the responsibility for that onto the altruism of others, whereas in a lot of these neighborhoods, particularly suburban areas, there are antiquated laws that keep affordable and multi-unit housing out of suburban areas, which is what's really shooting up those property values and limiting that land. Suburban areas should not be limited land like that. So if an old couple bought their house and they're like, we bought this house, this has been our house our whole lives, we're not leaving this house. I say, good, that's your home, you bought it. But the laws need to be changed so more people can get into these neighborhoods affordably.
Yes.
That's the thing.
And they're absolutely, Arnie Che said, a friend of mine who's a realtor is very honest that good school district is realtor speak for no brown people.
It 100% is.
If you hear that from a realtor, that is 100% the case, to be clear. It doesn't mean there aren't also school districts that are better funded. Right. Now, most of the time that does mean, why does the government fund those? Predominantly white neighborhoods, right? So like that's a fucking fucked up.
That's a real chicken and egg situation.
It's a real fucked up, right. But there is no disagreeing that like there is better education offered in some schools that kids should get access to. We just have to make it so there's not just fucking white kids getting access to it.
And so going back to Jimmy Beast, this article ends with the whole thing of he said that he wants to operate his channel at a loss and eventually take all the money and open up like homeless shelters and soup kitchens and all this stuff. And it's lovely. You know what I mean? It's a lovely thing. Every article about MrBeast ends that way. The same way every article about Elon Musk used to end with, this guy just wants to bring us electric cars and take us to Mars. And it's like, hey, we have to be looking at where the money's going and how this is being done because...
And now he's getting so goddamned much of it.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's like, it's like Saige was saying, this person is able to hear again, and I gave it to them for free. Isn't this wonderful? Oh, by the way, I own the company. Which remember, there's also a whole problem with FCC, with the FCC and YouTube and calling out things like that. Calling out that you own a product that you're also showing off, which is different than advertising.
100%. And we didn't plan for those laws, and now people are like, oh.
Which television has those laws. One of the most famous things of the last like decade that I remember happening was Ashton Kutcher was on 2.5 Men. He took over for Charlie Sheen, and he played like a tech guy.
Yeah.
And on the first episode he was on, he had a laptop on his lap, and he was like just doing some work. It was his personal laptop, and all the stickers on the laptop were companies that Ashton Kutcher had invested in. And the FCC fined 2.5 Men and Ashton Kutcher for doing that.
As they should be.
As they should. But YouTube doesn't do this.
Correct.
YouTube makes you say if something is an advertisement, but YouTube doesn't have any problem with the owner of a brand showing off something that they're doing and not disclosing that they're the owner of that brand.
Right. And even then, we're getting to the area where people are like, I mean, do I invest in this? Sure. But like, I think the problem is, even if a content creator that you love, and let's say you're a person in your early 20s, right? We're gonna say you're an adult with your own adult money. Even if a content creator you love says like, well, I'm invested in this. A great example of this is Phil DeFranco. People love Phil DeFranco. They'll do anything Phil DeFranco says.
I'm just gonna take a long sip of water during this entire thing.
Phil DeFranco consistently will be like, hey, here's this investing software that I think you should use. I believe in it so much that I invested in it. I bought stocks in this company. That's how much I believe in it. and how much you should use it. Now he's disclosed it, but he's also done so in a way that is still not dissuading people from
it's like
doing so.
It's like every financial advice channel on YouTube where it's like, here are 5 stocks you need to invest in. Hey, are those the 5 stocks that you're holding right now? And are you trying to drive the value up so you can dump your stock?
Did you get in when it's low and you're hoping it goes high?
Yeah. Disclosing it by endorsing it is, it's icky. It's icky.
So there has to be regulation beyond you have to disclose it because of the parasocial relationships that exist. If someone on television tells you they're invested in something, inherently people are like, ugh, weird, okay. But when a content creator does it, that's your pal.
That's your pal.
That's your bud. That's your friend you watch on the internet every day and you've been hanging out for 10 years. Right.
Vlogging and talking, that's all.
Laws and regulations for disclosure of manipulative advertising have to be adjusted for parasocial relationships.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be adjusted for it. Integrated marketing is a great example of that, which later became illegal. But the creators of Neopets once held a patent for something called integrated marketing, which was a patent for secretly advertising to children. And it wasn't illegal yet.
It wasn't illegal yet. It was, if you were a Neopets kid, you probably remember Neopet is hungry. Neopet is sad. Buy Neopet McDonald's.
They put a McDonald's in this, in the center of Neopia. They put a real McDonald's in there. They also had a Disney theater in there. You could go and you could feed your pet McDonald's. And it was great benefits from it. But they didn't disclose that it was sponsored by McDonald's. It was just McDonald's is just clearly the food of choice of your Neopet.
Yeah.
Jub just loved chicken nuggets.
Jub love chicky nug nug. And that's what Jubs used to say when you clicked on them.
That was it. That was their line. They were much like Pokemon where they have one thing they say.
Jub love chicky nug nug.
Yeah.
We all remember that.
I remember feeding McDonald's to them. Exactly. So they literally patented that. They were like, holy shit, you guys, we cracked the code. We should secretly advertise to children. Let's file a patent to make sure that we own the concept of secretly advertising to children. And they got the patent.
They got the patent, but then everybody looked at it and they were like, wait a minute.
They issued the patent. Literally, they set it in their hands and then went,
well, because the patent office and the FCC and the FTC are different things.
Exactly. FTC was like, let me see that.
The patents office entire job is just to say, you're right, this is novel and nobody's thought of it and you created it.
FTC said, let me see that.
And the FTC said, wait a minute, did you just create something that we literally banned on television years ago?
Yeah, but you didn't ban it on the internet.
You didn't ban it on the internet. And also, Ronnie Reg said you could do it again.
At the end of the day, everything is Reagan's fault.
Yeah, I am so mad that I am halfway through my life and Ronald Reagan is still fucking me. I can't believe Ronald Reagan is still fucking me.
You know what my favorite TikTok account is?
What?
There's a TikTok account that's at Reagan Updates or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And every couple days they just post a video saying, he's dead. He's still dead.
Woo!
It's very funny.
God. So anyway, everything's bad. Continue with some everything's bad news.
Let's go.
Did you think Silksong was going to happen? Did you think it was coming? You know, every time there's a Nintendo Direct in particular, people go, Silksong. Here it comes.
Right. Silksong, of course, is Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight's follow-up. Hollow Knight's so great. Of course, everyone wants Silksong.
Now, Silksong was due out in the first half of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're at. We got one more month. Surely Silksong. Unfortunately, Team Cherry has delayed the game without offering up a new release window, which I think is smart.
I think it's smart, but it's always concerning.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, look, Hollow Knight printed money. Silksong's going to print money. Silksong is coming.
Mm-hmm.
But to keep moving the release date and giving a new one,
mm-hmm.
I think they're at a point where they're clearly like, look, we don't need to keep doing this. It's just stressing us out.
Right.
Game is done when it's done.
Yeah.
And I think that's the smartest thing for them to do. Now, Team Cherry says we had planned to release in the first half of 2023, but development is still continuing. We're excited by how the game is shaping up, and it's gotten quite big. So we want to take the time to make the game as good as we can. Expect more details from us once we get closer to release.
You know, maybe. Snilk said Silksong new Half-Life 3.
Now, it was supposed to be, if you remember, it was supposed to be DLC.
Mm-hmm. And then it got big.
Yeah, they released a bunch of free DLC, and they said, we're making one big DLC that's going to be paid, and that was Silksong. And then they said, you know what? No, Silksong is its own game.
Got to be its own game. We've made so much game.
It's getting so big, it's got to be its own game.
Yeah.
And I feel like there are two ways that this could be going down, and the way that I'm reading it is Silksong, they started doing something really unique with. They realized, oh my gosh, whatever this mechanic or this thing is that we've come onto for this DLC, this is unique enough to be its own thing.
Right.
And then as they started expanding on it, they got into some of these like Nintendo EAD things where they were like, oh, if we can do this, then we can also do this, this, and this.
Right.
And now we want to build more around that. And I think, look, Hollow Knight fans are on their 87th replay of Hollow Knight. We'll wait.
Yeah.
We're disappointed, but we'll wait, you know?
Yeah.
Now, the bad way to look at it is this feature creep? Is it getting a little out of their control? Is it getting out of their hands? Is it too big? Do they need to rein it in?
It's possible.
It's possible,
but also, hey, we come on here at least once a week and we talk about a big game that came out unfinished to crunch towards a deadline where employees suffered and the game suffered.
Exactly.
So when games like this get delayed, we will honor that information and say, finish the game without harming your employees. Don't put it out till it's done. We will wait.
Now, Saige, it's great that you said that because
Anthony.
Because I want to ask what your feelings are about the fact that we have just learned that new Dragon Age is not coming this year. Do you feel the same as somebody who wants to smooch the bald head of that beautiful bad elf?
How many hours is too many? Can I be honest with you, Anthony?
Yeah.
I've started pretending the game is not real.
I think that's the best way to do it.
I think that's the only way to exist in this. I don't believe this game is coming.
BioWare is in a state. Listen.
I don't think it's happening.
BioWare is in a state. Now, we know that Dreadwolf has had 3 creative directors because the top-level creative churn at BioWare has been extremely intense. People are leaving BioWare left and right.
Yeah.
Starting their own companies, moving to other companies, just getting out of BioWare.
Right.
This is, if you're watching and you've been paying attention to this and how this started during Anthem, or really started during Mass Effect, started during the last Mass Effect, things do not look great for BioWare.
No. Blade of Creation said, certainly there was no expectation for it to come out this year, but for fuck's sake, I want some damn news about this game that isn't just this game is delayed again. Now, that's why I don't think the game's coming.
Yeah.
Look, if they make the game someday, what a pleasant surprise.
What a lovely time
Until
that
then,
would be.
There is no new Dragon Age. What is Dragon Age?
Now, Dreadwolf's been in some form of development since 2017. Reports last year said that they were targeting a late 2023 launch. We got their big like, hey, here comes some cool information about the new Dragon Age, and it was a logo for Dragon Age. So that should tell you where they are. We have had reports that as the creative directors have turned over, each one has felt like they need to start over, which is tough.
That is tough.
Because it means they're essentially starting from scratch every time. Yeah, but it's nowhere on it's during EA's earnings call. It was nowhere on the release schedule for the current financial year. The schedule has announced Lord of the Rings, Heroes of Middle-earth, Super Mega Baseball 4, and F1 in Q1. And Q2 is going to bring Immortals of Avenum, Madden 24, and EA Sports FC, which of course used to be FIFA. And then Q3, their final announcement was NHL 24. That means there will be no Dragon Age Dreadwolf before fiscal year 2025, which means April 1st, 2024 is the earliest we will see Dreadwolf. And I don't think we'll see it then.
I don't think so either.
Oh my God. Look at the boy. This is what the boy is doing on the couch right now.
There's a spot for him to sit that isn't in that. And for some reason, he just climbed into the flowers.
He wants a nest. He wants like a blankie that he can nest in.
He's nesting in our Feywild props.
This is a beautiful photo. If we could remove the lightsaber, I think the lightsaber's good.
The lightsaber adds to it.
The lightsaber actually adds to it.
Oh, guys.
Go get another photo of the baby.
I'm going to go get another photo.
Does this make you feel better about No Dragon Age, that there are photos of the baby? Yeah, let him burrow.
Dogs don't do that.
Dogs burrow. Dogs absolutely burrow. Don't you see? Nothing my boy does is abnormal. How dare you? Hey, while Saige is doing that, let's talk about some other new stuff that's happening. First of all, you all still playing Fall Guys? Who's playing Fall Guys?
No.
Anybody playing those Fall Guys?
But I saw it in my Steam library the other day, and I went, huh, does that count?
Yeah. Fall Guys is getting creative mode today. Build your own Fall Guys.
So I remember when they initially announced that this was coming, and I think this is brilliant. I understand how hard it must have been to make, but I am like, damn, if you had caught the Fall Guys wave with this, that would have been incredible. I kind of want a little Fall Guys renaissance.
I would love a Fall Guys renaissance.
Building maps in Fall Guys sounds fun as hell.
Do you know what absolutely stopped me from playing Fall Guys?
What?
It was the one level where you got to run across the poles and then up as the slime is rising.
Yeah, of course, that's everybody.
I just never did well in that level, and so I left Fall Guys forever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But Fall Guys, oh my God, a perfect child.
It's really curled up in there.
A perfect child.
It's really fucking in there.
But I love this. I love the idea of people making their own levels, putting them into rotation. Obviously, I love a Doraemon costume.
It made me want to play Fall Guys again. Did it have that effect for you, even though you couldn't get past that level?
It did.
Because you could play on a custom level. You don't have to get past it.
That's the thing. I want to play on a custom playlist. You know, set up a thing with friends. It's like that's like 5 different maps, 7 different maps, something like that. That's all like community maps. And then I favorite the maps that I like, and we put them into custom playlists. Like I love all that.
Doesn't that sound great?
Yeah.
I want to play.
I'll play some Fall Guys.
I want to make a map. Do you want to make your own maps or just play your friends' maps?
I have no interest in making.
I have so much interest in making map. Why not?
I don't care. I just want to play other people's maps.
Oh no. I want to play.
I'm sort of that way with a lot of like the creative stuff in games. Like I never made a Mario Maker level, but I love playing Mario Maker.
Wow, that's the only appealing part to me.
Like I dicked around a little bit with the creation tools, but the appeal for me is infinite Mario.
Okay, interesting. The appeal for me is the making. For those looking for those photos of Dagger, it is in the It's Too Early channel of the PixelCircus Discord.
That's right. Join that Discord. It's free real estate.
Go see this soft, sweet boy.
In other game release news, do you remember Dordogne? Dordogne. This is the watercolor game.
Yeah.
Done by Focus. And there's a new trailer and a release date for it, and it looks just as beautiful.
Absolutely stunning.
This is just a gorgeous looking game.
I'm
gonna play this. This is a bathtub game.
Absolutely. For
This
you,
is 100% a bathtub game.
100% a bathtub game for you. I love this art style. I love,
This gives me Boku no Natsuyatsumi for people who speak English. Like the summer vacation games that never got translated for PlayStation. This gives me those vibes.
I just in an age where every AAA game looks the same, I'm so grateful for indie studios making various types of art.
Now we've seen a lot of studios try to do 2D, watercolor, cell shading. This is successful on a level that I think most of those games are not. I see a lot of games that try to look painted or animated, and I look at them and I go, it's just a shader on 3D. I can tell.
100%.
Or you didn't really put the work into this, or you didn't have the art team you needed to do this. This looks like a game that had everybody it needed to do it.
That's beautiful. I
Yep.
love it.
And that comes out June 13th, 2023. And it is on the Switch.
Ooh.
It's on everything, but it will also be on the Switch. So it's a good little cozy handheld game.
Very exciting. That Switch is exactly what I'd want to play it on. That's a Switch game. That's an airplane game for me. What's a bathtub game for you is an airplane game for me.
That's a Steam Deck game. I'm going to have it on the PC. It's going to look beautiful.
I bet it is.
It's going to look great.
I bet it is. I'm going to play it on my Switch on an airplane.
Yeah, do it.
Or I'm never going to play it. That's the problem.
Do
if
it,
I don't,
coward.
I'll never do it. Hey,
Hey,
where are you at with,
where you at?
you up there?
On God.
Yeah?
Me and Kirk Franklin.
Did you finish the last Pokemon?
No, I fell off. The problem is once I fall off of a game, I'm off. And
I loved the game. I barely started it.
I think I got like 6 gyms in. I got to the gym. I definitely got to the Tired Man gym, which made me so happy. The Tired Man gym boss was just like my favorite. But it was pretty good. I could see all the things that were not done in the game.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to put this down and I'm going to wait for a big update because I feel like a big update is coming. And then a big update never really came.
That's true.
And I could tell that like more things were supposed to be in shops. Things were supposed to be different from town to town that weren't as different as they should have been. There were the performance issues that were kind of like a bummer for me. And I was just like, I'm going to wait for this big feature update that I think is coming. And then it never did. And so I think the game was in a pretty rough state when it came out.
Interesting.
And for me to play more than halfway through a game that comes out in a rough state means the game is very compelling.
Yeah, 100%.
It just, meh.
Okay, all right, that's where you're at. Well, Game Freak
Heard of them?
has released some concept art for a new game. And talk about fucking compelling. I have feelings.
Now, this is a non-Pokemon IP,
Yeah.
which Game Freak has not done in quite a while.
As you know, when you become the Pokemon devs, you could just keep cashing in Pokemon. And you don't get a lot of free time to make other things because you're making Pokemon.
Now, was I hoping it would be a new Drill Dozer? Sure.
Oh,
Sure.
okay.
If Game Freak's gonna make a new game and it's not gonna be Pokemon, I say to myself, Drill Dozer? Drill Dozer's coming? But this is a new IP called Bloom.
Yeah, right now it's just being called Project Bloom. I think that's a working title.
All we get is this single piece of concept art and the announcement that Take-Two and Private Division are working with Game Freak on this game.
I mean, I know it's just one piece of concept art, so I don't want to like overhype it. It's a beautiful piece of concept art. Like that's a strong start. I'm in. Now, I also, as someone who like loves Game Freak, was just like a little biased, and I recognize that, but also that's beautiful.
Now somebody did bring up Tembo. Now, of course, could it have been Tembo the badass elephant? Yes.
Could have been.
It could have been Tembo the badass
Hey,
elephant.
still could be. Project Bloom could end up being Tembo.
That could be just this could be moody art of Tembo the badass elephant.
Hey, look, we got moody Pinocchio this year.
Yeah.
We're really in the year of like grayed out versions of cutesy cartoon things.
Yeah.
So like,
Search around in the background there, see if you see Tembo the badass elephant. Is an elephant
okay.
hiding back there anywhere? Could be Tembo. Look for
What's that?
Look for that could be Tembo. That's probably Tembo. Could also be the Little Town Hero. I'd go for a new Little Town Hero as well. I'd be fine with that.
there's also a blanket there. You can just use the blanket.
Yeah, but he's a dog of the wilds now. He simply now lives among nature. He's moved beyond blankets now.
He's
My boy is a
fully
nature boy.
nesting like a bird. Dude.
Yeah, he's a bird now. If my boy wants to be a bird now, he's a bird now. Let him do it.
a little distracting. Watching a dog become a bird directly behind camera is a little distracting.
Wow. Maybe mind your business. Let my dog become a bird on its own time. That's very private. Hey, you want some business news?
Hold on. Hey, Mom, is it okay if I do business? Yeah, I know, but like, I understand, but I did pass the bar in the state of Virginia. No, I know. It still counts. I understand that. Anthony has a street MBA. Anthony says that his mom can pick us up if you drop us off at business. Okay, love you. Fucking asshole.
I can't believe your mom's a cartoon chipmunk.
Let's do business news.
Okay. Hey, do you know who sold a record number of games and had their share prices hit an all-time high this year?
No.
Capcom.
Oh.
Capcom has apparently been quietly crushing it for the last 6 years.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense to me. Is that super surprising to you?
They sold more games in this last year than any other year in its history. That includes the year of Street Fighter 2 coming to home consoles. That includes your Megamans.
It's about the number of games they're releasing.
Yeah.
They're knocking it out of the park with RE remake after RE remake. Remake. Every Resident Evil remake has crushed, and they have been knocking them out back to back.
Yep. They say this record sales figure partly with the release of 2 new titles in its flagship series, Resident Evil 4, and then, of course, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak.
Right.
Which each sold, Resident Evil 4 sold 3.75 million units, no slouch for a remake. And Monster Hunter Rise sold, or Sunbreak, just Sunbreak, sold 5.45 million units. 5.5 million units just for the Sunbreak expansion.
Yeah.
So that's pretty huge. The vast majority of its sales still come from back catalog titles. So these sales were made up mostly of titles in the Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, and Devil May Cry series. 29.3 million units.
Fascinating.
Devil May Cry is just crushing it on the long side of release. Devil May Cry 5 is still selling crazy numbers on PC.
Wow.
I still see it high up in the sales charts on PC all the time.
Featuring Dante?
Featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
Wow.
Can you believe?
No.
12.4 million in sales was made up of new titles, including Mega Man Battle Network Legacy, which, come on. I guess that's a new title, Capcom,
Sure.
but come on.
Hilarious.
Resident Evil Village Gold Edition. Monster Hunter Rise Deluxe Edition. Capcom Arcade Second Stadium, and Capcom Fighting Collection. Dude, that Capcom classic catalog just crushes for them year over year.
Yep.
You would think everybody who wants to play Street Fighter 2 would have Street Fighter 2 at this point.
Nope.
But every time they release it, people are like, I will buy this again.
And they keep being like, oh, okay, well, we've played a new thing, or there's new things coming. There's going to be new Street Fighter. There's all this stuff happening around Street Fighter. They're going to be like, well, let me go back. Hey, I realize I don't have a copy I can play of Street Fighter 2. You know, it's just stuff like that. It's like, oh,
I want it on my
did have
Switch
that.
because I have my Switch with me.
Right.
And it's like $10 or I buy it in a collection or whatever.
Exactly. That's all it is. It's being like, oh, actually, I don't have Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
Shit, I should have Street Fighter 2.
Devin Danger in the live studio audience brings up something very relevant too, which is they're not afraid to put their games on sale. Capcom will put that back catalog. They'll slash it 50% for a week, and they'll just 100%. Be like, if you want Mega Man, this is your week for Mega Man.
Which is a great model.
Capcom's president said recently that they aim to sell 10 million copies of Street Fighter 6, which sounds like a lot. The series record was 7 million by Street Fighter 5. And I think this is because they don't do the sort of thing that Nintendo does with their back catalog, where they'll try to lump all the sales of one title across multiple platforms.
Yeah.
Capcom is very like, no, Street Fighter 5 during its release window sold 7 million.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 2, we don't count as being like one game. If we release it in a collection, we just count the sales for that collection, blah,
right.
blah, blah. But I also can't believe Street Fighter 5 sold 7 million copies.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm probably just out of touch with like fighting games, because I feel like I didn't know a lot of people who were playing Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, we don't exist in a fighting community.
I feel like maybe a lot of people just bought it, and like when I buy a fighting game, I buy it, I play it for 2 weeks, I set it aside. Like maybe a lot of people do that.
I don't
2
get
weeks
2 weeks.
sometimes.
I get 2 days, man.
2 days on a fighting game?
I get 2 days on a fighting game, and I have a great time for 2 days. And then I never pick it up again.
Never.
Never again. I'll never play it again.
In other sales calls, let's talk about Nintendo.
Should I get the...
No, we already have permission. It's fine.
The sales call?
Oh, we're not on the sales call.
Okay.
No, they already had it. We're gonna report on it.
Okay.
We're gonna report on it.
Oh, got it.
Nintendo had their sales call, and hey, they're doing fine.
Yep.
Don't you worry.
Mm-hmm.
Switch sales were up 26% compared to March, 30% compared to those in April of 2022. This is obviously in preparation for Tears of the Kingdom. Sales have been dipping of the Switch lately, but they're back up now. Despite this boost in Switch sales, the PS5 is still the best-selling console in April.
Okay.
But PS5 sales were down 35% compared to March. It's crazy. Wow. Everything's up and down, up and down. But Nintendo is saying that they want to sell another 20 million Switches or 15 million Switches by the end of the Switch's lifespan. It's at 125, I think now, 125 million. I think they want to get it past that 140 million mark. They really want to beat the DS.
They really want to beat the DS?
I think another 15 million in sales is a big, big ask.
That is a big ask. I'm very curious. Because obviously we knew they would get the Tears of the Kingdom boost. And that's already happening and will continue to happen. But I don't know if it's a 15 million boost. What else are you going to release before the end of the Switch's life then to finish that?
Yeah.
What's the last big Switch release?
I think it's Tears of the Kingdom.
You think that's the last?
I think that's the last big first-party Nintendo release.
There's no more Mario. There's no more Mario for Switch.
New Mario's next gen.
Interesting.
We might get like another remake of something or another upscale of something, but
not even like a Paper Mario. Not even like a...
No, we got this generation's Paper Mario.
Yeah.
We got Origami King, and that was not too long ago. So I genuinely think, even though Nintendo is saying, internal sources have been saying that development on the new Switch hardware is going well, it's definitely not coming in the next fiscal year.
Right.
Which is something we've been talking about. It's like the Switch is still printing so much money, and I don't think they're going to sell another 15 million. But they're still selling pretty steadily.
Yeah.
And there's still money to be made off that old hardware. And Nintendo does not release a new console until they absolutely need to. And right now with the Switch printing so much, they got such a boost from Animal Crossing over the pandemic that they're selling their catalog, the entire catalog, to so many people.
Yeah.
And I do think they're counting on special editions to boost a lot of those sales. That Zelda OLED. They're counting on a lot of people that are like, well, I have the old Switch, and maybe you're like me, you have a launch Switch, and your fan's making grindy noises, and you don't want to, like, I had to replace the fan in my Switch because launch Switches make like grind noises.
Yeah.
Or you're like, the screen's not so great, or it's all like, it's just gummed up or whatever, and I just want the OLED because it's a little nicer and the screen's a little bigger. And just buying the OLED doesn't make a lot of sense to you, but a special edition.
An Animal Crossing one, a Zelda one. I don't think the Animal Crossing one is actually OLED. I think it's just an Animal Crossing regular Switch, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
But you have the Tears of the Kingdom one, which is beautiful.
It's one of their nicest special editions, I
think.
Like,
that's gorgeous.
Sometimes Nintendo will do a special edition, like they'll do that Splatoon one, and it's like, I don't know, the controllers are weird colors and there's a Splatoon on the back.
Have any of the other, have any of the other game-specific Switches been OLED? Or is this the first one that's OLED?
Oh, I think maybe
Splatoon was
maybe they did a Pokemon one.
Oh, they did do a Scarlet and Violet Switch.
Live studio audience, was that an OLED? Does anybody remember?
I think it was.
I think the Pokemon one was OLED.
Yeah. It was. And I didn't like it very much.
No, I wasn't so into it. It's got a lot to do with the dock.
The dock is the worst part by far.
And the dock is the part that is the most on display. And so when they have a bad dock for the special editions, I just go, oof.
And that's a bad dock.
It's just not my aesthetic.
In my opinion, that's a bad dock.
I don't think it's the worst they've ever done, but it's definitely not for me. Now, I loved the back of this.
That was cool as hell.
It was very good.
But they also didn't carry that through. Like, that's so mismatched.
Yeah.
Why are those so mismatched?
That's the weird thing is this is like the first one is all like very serious, like ancient ornamental artwork. and then the school crests, and then on the back it's just like, what up?
It's little stickers and
It's little
graffiti.
stickies.
It's little sticky little graffiti.
Yeah. So I'm not, none of the special editions have made me go, I need to replace my Switch. I don't think anything's going to make me replace my Switch, especially now that we're 6 years in to the Switch. I genuinely I'm waiting on the next one.
Somebody talked about, it's the original Switch, but the Let's Go Eevee/Let's Go Pikachu one.
Yeah.
Very cute.
That was very cute.
Very cute. The Eevee's color on one side, the Pikachu on the other. The back of that, cute.
Yeah.
Subtle. I like that it's subtle.
I like the ones that are more screen printed like that have like the shiny backs. Those are pretty fun.
Nothing
I'll tell
on the
you
front
what.
of those Joy-Cons. Nothing.
Nothing. I'll tell you what though.
What will you tell me?
A lot of people want that Switch.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
Fans are already in line at Nintendo World
Whoa.
for the Switch and for Tears of the Kingdom. Some of them don't even have like launch tickets. They're just waiting just in case.
Wow.
They're like, maybe there will be maybe they'll have extras.
Wow.
Yeah. Some players have already started lining up outside the store, even though there's a reservation system in place to make such queues unnecessary. A gentleman named Alex Picala, who calls himself Captain Nintendo Dude, was first in line for the Switch.
Captain Nintendo Dude didn't get a reservation?
Captain Nintendo Dude does not have a reservation.
I think you lose your title. I don't think we can call you Captain Nintendo Dude.
I don't know.
I think you might just be a Nintendo Dude.
I think you're just a dude.
Yeah, maybe just a dude.
I think Captain Nintendo Dude would get his reservation. He turned up at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, even though he won't be allowed to enter the store at midnight.
On Friday, mind you. Midnight on Friday.
Yeah. On Sunday, Picala posted a YouTube video complaining about Nintendo's Warp Pipe Pass system, in which fans have to go to a website to secure a time slot to enter the store to prevent overcrowding. When the Warp Pipe Pass went live, went live for the midnight launch, the site broke temporarily, meaning some fans missed out on the midnight slot and the 1 a.m. slot, which were the most coveted of slots, obviously. People wanted to be in at that very moment. They wanted to be in Nintendo World at midnight when the game came out. They wanted to be part of that experience.
Right. And I get that. I get the in-person experience. But that's Tuesday for a Friday release. That means you're camping in a line for 4 days.
Oh, yeah.
For something you can buy on Amazon right now.
Here's the thing about
that'll arrive on Friday.
Here's the thing about Amazon. Like sometimes they just break street date and that shit shows up a day early.
Like, Anthony, I haven't wanted to buy one of these until I saw this article. And then I was like, I want to buy one on Amazon just because of this.
Now, I understand the community part of it.
I love a community event.
I love the community part of it.
Camp for 4 days for one.
The
If
part
I'm
of
going to
it-
camp for 4 days for a community event, I'm going to Burning Man.
The part of this that I don't like, though, is the fact that he's camping sort of in like a, well, I didn't get my Warp Pipe Pass, so I'm camping just in case I can get in. And it's like, dude.
It's this whole idea of, but I'm special.
Yeah, and listen, the site broke, and that sucks. The only I was in one of the very long lines outside of Nintendo World only once in my life.
Oh, what for?
The midnight launch of Nintendogs, in which Shigeru Miyamoto was signing autographs and drawing sketches for everybody who was in line. I was in line for almost a full day. And it was great. We all had our DSs. We were playing Advance Wars in line. People were doing stuff.
So here's a few things then. 1, that's only a day.
Yeah.
This is 4 days.
4 days.
2, is anything special happening at this event? Is anyone attending? Are the creators going to be there?
Well, look,
there has to be something, right? A signing or something to go with it?
No, the honest truth of this is Captain Nintendo Dude is, of course, a content creator. And so Captain Nintendo Dude is vlogging his experience of being in line at Nintendo World for 72 hours.
Vlogging his experience of, I didn't get what I wanted, but I'm still entitled to the thing I want.
Yep. Waiting in line with some other people. Now, he's not the only one in line. He's just first.
Yeah.
There are a lot of other people in line.
There's lots of people in line.
But he's, of course, like, he's making an event of it. And I get that. But I would not wait for 3 days for a video game which will be available everywhere. And if you're a big Zelda fan, I understand it. I'm just past that point in my life. I don't even stand at concerts anymore. So don't talk to me about waiting in a line. I don't wait in line.
I'm only 27 and I also don't stand at concerts anymore.
Yeah,
I stand during the concert, but I get myself a seat.
Listen.
I don't buy GA very often anymore.
Hey, can I tell you something
GA for small shows.
Can I tell you something about as the guy who bought a seat that's right behind people like you? Sit down in your fucking seat so
everyone
I don't have to stand
else is
up.
standing.
Sit down in your fucking seat so I don't have to stand up.
The people in front of me are standing. I won't be able to see. The people in front of me are standing. I didn't start it.
We bought seats.
I didn't start it.
Down.
I didn't start it.
Just sit down, everybody. Come on.
I agree. I've gotten into arguments with friends about this before. If I have to wait in line for more than 40 minutes, it's not worth it. I just can't do it, right?
Listen.
And look, I get it. I understand why I've gotten to that point in my life, and it is because I am not experiencing hardship at this time.
I was kind of seeing somebody. We had gone out on a couple dates, and they were having like a thing at a bar downtown.
Yeah.
And they were like, come to this thing, and my friends are going to be there, and we have a table and blah, blah, blah. And I showed up, and it was one of these like downtown, like actual clubby clubs.
Oh.
And there was a 40-minute line.
No, to get into a nightclub?
And it was one of those clubs where the person was looking and was like, and it was literally old school LA where it's like, you look cool enough, you can come in.
I don't want to spend 40 minutes in a clubby club.
You two girls can come in, like all this stuff. And I was just like,
in line for one.
I was just like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And she was like, wait, don't leave. I was like, no, I will see you later. Like we're cool. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I'm not disappointed.
I don't want to wait 40 minutes to get in a clubby club.
I simply cannot stand in line while somebody is just pointing and letting people in.
Ew, icky. Ew, no thank you, hard pass.
Or people like brunch where people are like, well, it's just an hour to get a table at this place. It's so cool.
No.
Really, they have the coolest eggs?
All brunch is the same brunch.
Really, they have the coolest eggs. And you'll wait an hour for just the coolest eggs you've ever had. It's eggs.
Look, I'm not.
Listen, they put toast in the toaster at this place. You would not fucking believe it. You would not fucking believe it. It's just eggs.
It's just eggs. Recently, the last Friday the 13th, Spider Josh and I went to get flash tattoos.
Yeah.
And when we called, they were like, line's about an hour. And I was like, to get a silly memory, hang with the bestie in line. Yeah. That's great. I can do that. Yeah. You know, like I can absolutely spend 1 hour in line for a tattoo. I can do that. That's fine. We'll hang out. We'll have a good time. We'll catch up. It ended up being like 4 hours to get this tattoo.
Woof.
And then I ended up in the position of the sunken cost fallacy.
Where now you can't leave.
Right, I can't leave. I've already waited an hour.
You're gonna wait half your day and not get a tattoo?
Exactly, and then it's been an hour and you're like, well, they said it's not gonna be that much longer and the line is not physically that long, but they were letting people get multiple flash tattoos and typically at flash tattoos at tattoo shops, you can't do that.
But
people were able to pick like as many as they wanted. I think it was like up to 4 or something.
Nope, they fucked that up.
They fucked it. They absolutely
If you want another one, they'll let you do it, but you have to get back in line.
You just have to get back in line, and that's fine. And that's a functional rotating system. Because look, the tattoos I got, I did get 2. They were this big.
You're part of the problem.
I'm part of the problem, but if everyone else...
You got 2 tattoos, you stand up in your seat.
My 2 tattoos, Anthony, took 15 minutes.
My favorite 50s sitcom was my 2 tattoos.
My 2 tattoos took 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And here's the other reason I couldn't get out of line. It was Josh's first tattoo.
It was his first tattoo.
I was taking our son to get his first tattoo.
Oh, you had to do it.
I had to do it. I had to do it. But I ended up getting the most ridiculous, nonsensical tattoo I've ever gotten because I didn't make sense anymore after 4 hours in line.
No.
I wasn't making logical choices after 4 hours in line.
No.
At that point, it was just like, I don't know, man. This is the most ridiculous thing on the sheet. You put that shit on me forever.
Yeah. Ethan brings up waiting in line at Din Tai Fung, which is like a dumpling place. That takes it takes like 2 hours to get dumplings. Dumplings are supposed to be quick, fast lunch.
Dude, there's a Din Tai Fung. Okay, this is gonna be so LA. I'm so sorry, y'all. There's a Din Tai Fung.
How'd you get there? Did you take the 405?
Yeah. The 5. 134 to the 5. Glendale Americana. There's a Din Tai Fung.
Yeah.
I used to work in a Nordstrom there. Okay.
Humble brag.
Okay, it was like, I don't know, I was like 19 and I like worked retail. And the makeup girlies, that made clearly better money than I was making.
Yeah.
Would go there on their lunch break, and they would have to do a thing where like somebody uses their 15-minute break to go over and put their name on the list so that in 2 hours when they get their lunch break, then they could get lunch at Din Tai Fung and have to take it to go because by the time they get their food, they have to go back to work from their hour-long lunch break.
Negative.
Why do people like Din Tai Fung that much? I've never had it.
They're very good dumplings.
I've never had it.
But I will say this. There is no food that I have ever had that has been worth waiting an hour. Never. I've had people where like when I lived in San Francisco, when I lived in New York, when I live here, there's always a place in every city where everybody's like, this is the one.
Yeah.
You gotta come to this place. They've got the best brunch. And then you wait for 90 minutes or you wait for 90 minutes for dinner or whatever. And when you get in, it's egg.
It's just egg every time.
Just egg.
It's always brunch and it's always egg for brunch.
And here's the thing, the really nice places that I've had dinner at, you make a reservation.
Correct. You don't wait, you make a reservation.
The best food I've ever had in my life has all been from places where you make a reservation.
And here's the thing.
I don't wait.
Even if the brunch place has really a unique, excellent menu, you know what I'm getting?
Egg.
Just egg.
Just egg.
Because like even if those are an option, I don't want that. Mostly I kind of just want egg. Like a pancake?
Sure.
A pancake.
Sure.
Delicious. Pancake. Excellent. Excellent. Very good.
No. See, Dandino, you're misunderstanding. I've never had to wait for
right,
my best food. I've had a reservation.
Then you don't have to wait.
You don't have to wait. So I've never had to wait 90 minutes for food that I've really loved.
And then been like, this was a good choice. I'm so glad I did this. This is what I would have done if you all didn't make me.
No, there's a certain, like, there's nothing that, this is why the theme park situation is also to me. Because as much as I love a theme park, I have friends that go to they're like, we go to Disney once a week. And I'm like, whoa, dude. Okay, good for you. Why? Because like, as much as I love the theme park, waiting 2 hours in line for any 15-minute ride, I'm like, that was a fun ride. I cannot separate how cool that ride was from the memory of waiting in the sun for 2 hours.
Anthony,
I simply cannot.
Anthony, you know, I went to Disney World back in March.
Oh, you got to do it fancy style.
Changed my life.
Changes your life.
Anthony, it changed my life. I went on a Disney influencer trip and it changed my life. That's the title of my YouTube video about it.
Yeah.
Not clickbait. I cried. Look, there were no lines. It was like going to things after it was closed.
Yeah.
Anthony, I went on Space Mountain 3 times in a row. Just ran back through the back of the line.
Yeah.
3 times in a row. Because it was closed. Anthony. I went on the Tron ride 5 times.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
I walked to the front of the line for
thing.
Rise of the Resistance.
That's a very rare and special thing.
I know, but it changes your life. How do I ever wait in a Disney World like line?
How do I live without here? How will you know? The best time I ever had at Disney was a similar situation. We had one of the plaid tour guides who just walk you onto things.
Yeah.
Because I went with fancy Disney people.
Right. I know this is the least relatable conversation in second to me saying the Din Tai Fung at the Glendale Americana.
How'd you get to Disney?
What do you mean?
What'd you take? 5 to the 4?
To Disney World?
Yeah. Look.
It's just, I kept walking by the lines and seeing 120 minutes. 120 minutes? Why are you putting it in minutes? Because I think they think that 120 minutes sounds like less than if you would put it in hours.
It does.
Does it?
It's like when you get braces, they say, hey, don't think about the fact that you have these braces for 2 years. You have these braces for 24 months.
See, that's more of something.
It's more of something, but it goes down faster. And that's how the human brain works.
Fascinating.
Because you can wait in line for 2 hours, 45 minutes goes by, and you're still in line for 2 hours. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're still in line for like more than an hour. it's like only one has like ticked down.
I get it, and I'm sure they're correct because like nobody knows how to market to our brains better than Disney at this point. I'm not going to say they're incorrect, but that still sounds like 120 weird. Of something.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait 120 of anything.
No, well, and coming back around, it's not the wait for lines it's not the wait for lines, the wait for rides that's really, really bad. The wait for rides, yes, it's long and it's kind of bad, but it's expected. The same amount of time waiting for theme park food if you want to eat in a restaurant.
Okay.
So fucking insulting.
Okay.
So insulting.
What I see is worse than that, Anthony. Line for food. I know how long that's going to take. I am signing up for. Okay. Yeah. All right. Says they've got an hour wait. Okay. I choose whether or not I want to wait an hour. Getting food, finding no table. Getting food, finding no table. There is nothing that fills me with more like infuriating anxiety than walking around with the tray of food.
Just like standing with multiple burgers and fries.
Right,
and you're just
balancing
like, where do I
your
go?
ketchup with nowhere to go. And you know the food is getting cold and you know this is an inedible cold food. And you're just walking around like, fuck. And you're like having to awkwardly watch people and be like, are you done?
And then if you have a table and you're sitting and eating, you can feel everybody looking at you. And you're just like, no, it's just.
I hate it. I think about it every time before I go to a theme park, a fair, like an event, anything. Every time I'm like, fuck.
A theme park gives me the same vibe that most people get in an airport. When I'm in a theme park, I'm just like, I can't believe that they are limiting my food options. They are overcharging me for everything. There's nowhere to sit.
Yeah.
Where am I going to charge my phone?
Yeah.
I want to get on this ride, but if I want to get on this ride, I have to run over there as quickly as possible.
Right. If I want to go.
I'm at the airport.
Yeah.
I'm chilling. I love an airport.
See, for me at the airport, I'm like, if I want to go and I want to get my, for some reason, $15 Subway sandwich, I have to take all my luggage with me.
Yeah.
Ooh. Hate to have to take my luggage with me. Once again, fumbling around and then trying to find a table at the fucking airport.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You have to still try to find a table at the airport. Man, this is the most petty grievances bullshit we've ever done in this show.
It's hard to be us. We have the hardest lives.
How are the lines at the Renaissance Fair? Not that bad because I went on a Sunday. Saturdays are always a nightmare.
Getting
Sunday's
out
not
of the
that
Renaissance
bad.
Fair, I hear, is the nightmare.
You leave early. You just gotta leave early,
just
baby.
leave early.
No, don't stay till closing.
Because people, I remember I was supposed to meet up with somebody last year after they got out of the Renaissance Fair. We were supposed to go to dinner. And they called me and they were like, I am stuck for 2 hours.
So that's the thing. If you leave at closing, you're stuck. If you arrive at opening, you're stuck. Arrive before opening, coast in, sit in your car for a little bit.
Yeah.
And not long. Like I'm talking, Ren Fair opens at 10. Kaylee and I were like, we could get there at 9:30.
Yeah.
Like we want to be getting into the parking lot at 9:30. Just because everyone thinks arrive right at 10.
Right.
Arrive between 10 and 11.
No, parking lots don't magically disappear.
Parking lots don't matter. So we rolled up. We had a little time to like fix up our costumes, hanging out in the car. And then we walked right in. We waited in no lines. And I left at like 5 p.m. Ren Fair closes at 6. Once like 4 o'clock rolled around, I was like, I've seen the whole Ren Fair. There is dust in my eyes and lungs. I'm all done.
See, and I will use these tips if I ever wind up going to the Ren Fair. If a friend ever invites me to the Ren Fair and I ever wind up there, lived in LA for years now.
The rest of us don't get invited to the Ren Fair. We just go.
Somebody
You're really misunderstanding the culture of the Ren Fair.
Somebody invited you to the Ren Fair.
No, we just went to the Ren Fair.
Did you invite Kaylee to Ren Fair?
No, Kaylee's just...
How did everybody find out when the Ren Fair was?
We all keep tabs on the Ren Fair, champ.
How do you keep tabs on the Ren Fair?
The internet.
When does the internet say that the Ren Fair is?
Look it up.
How do you know when to look up when the Ren Fair is?
It happens every spring.
Somebody just invite me to the Ren Fair.
Same time every year, Anthony.
Just invite me to the Ren Fair.
That's how it's the same time every year.
I just want to go to the Ren Fair.
No one's stopping you from going to the Ren Fair. Ask your friends to go to the Ren Fair. We'll go with you.
They've already went. I saw all your pictures.
All our friends get season passes.
There's season passes to a Ren
There's
Fair?
season passes to the Ren Fair. I've got friends there every weekend.
How long does the Ren Fair go on?
Like 6 weeks. Something.
So you're talking. So it's not even just one weekend. It's 6 weeks out of every year. No one's invited me to the Ren Fair.
Anthony, you're fundamentally misunderstanding the experience.
It's an entire season every year where no one's invited me to the Ren Fair. Woof.
Just go to the Ren Fair. Ask your friends. Hey, you've not invited me to the Ren Fair.
I saw a picture of the Ren Fair. I said, hey, I didn't know the Ren Fair was going on. Can I come to the Ren Fair? And you were like, I've already gone.
That's not what I said.
You said I've already gone.
That's not what I said. This was live on the internet, and you can't say that. We've run 15 minutes over.
Well, we were 15 minutes late, so good.
It's not how that conversation happened. I said, we
all
might go
watched
again
the
next
VOD
weekend.
you saw. She said, already went.
I said, we might go next weekend.
She said, we all talked about it when you weren't around. You did say that.
I said, you didn't come to Failed Safe when we all decided to go to Ren Fair.
You all know what happened. That's 10% of every year I haven't been asked to the Ren Fair.
You're not asking anyone at the Ren Fair. Ask me to the Ren Fair, Anthony.
Do you want to go to the Ren Fair?
I've already been.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
We love you so much. Yeah, I'll go with you to the Ren Fair.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for spending your morning with us. Of course, we do the show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific, which still feels weird to say, even though it's always been that way.
It's always been that way. It's never been different.
It's never been different, of course.
Ethan in the fucking chat. Hey, man, I'd love to go to the Ren Fair. I already went, so maybe next time, though. Fucking guy. Fucking guy. I know you went, Ethan. I saw pictures. I saw pictures of everybody I know at the Ren Fair. Let people know how they can help us out.
You can do lots of things to support the show. We are an independently run network. So you can do things like donate during the show. That goes to the people that you see on screen. That's me and Anthony. That's who you see on screen. Hello. You can do things like join the Discord for free. You can tell a friend about the show for free. You can just show up and watch it. It's the number one thing you can do. We make a show so people will watch it. And you're doing just that, and we love you for it. You can do that either on Twitch live, or you can always catch the VODs here on Twitch or on YouTube. They're there. And sometimes they're a little late, but is usually coming 80% of the time.
Let it go, man.
You know?
Let it go.
Most of the time, there will be an episode.
Let it go. Saige.
You can also support us on Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
Patreon.com/PixelCircus. Actually got a secret announcement yesterday about some new stuff coming up on the channel.
Everybody, they announced when they're going to the Ren Fair.
Yeah.
And I'm not part of the Patreon, so I didn't know.
Yeah, sorry. That starts at $10 a month. Yes, we'll fix the schedule. Sorry.
So, all
support
that
us on Patreon. Do that. What else?
That's it. Where are you every day?
You can follow me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige. I will not be streaming on my channel tonight, but I do other days. And you?
Yeah, I'm everywhere at A Carboni, except for here on Twitch, where I'm at Anthony Carboni. And yeah.
We're both doing great.
We're both doing great.
Honestly, I think we nailed this outro.
Baby, we killed it.